Particularly if you got a Windows phone.
Yeah, Windows Phone, if not, just the normal email app.
Yeah.
Just what's either brought in through
Android
Android or just the default email app on Apple.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
There we go. Ask
Well,
him.
I want to say I got a better crowd tonight than I did last year. And when John asked me to do this, I says, John, I really want one of them weather stations. I don't have one, so I'd be happy to do it.
Well, guess what?
John lied. Okay, the Raspberry Pi. I think most of you are familiar with it. I don't know how many people have actually played with one. They came out about a year and a half ago. They came out with a new version about 2 months ago. It used to be you had to have quite a bit of knowledge to know how to program one. They've even simplified that down to a thing called NOOBS, which people have called NOOBS. It's really newbies. It's basically, let me show you here. Give me a second. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. The Raspberry Pi with NOOBS, it's called. It's basically, you go to the Raspberry Pi site, which is raspberrypi.org. Okay. And you go to their NOOBS download. You download the NOOBS. It's a zip file. Well, I'll go by the screen here, put it that way. The Raspberry Pi 2 operates on an SD mini chip, the wee little ones. It says you can use a 4 gig one. I don't recommend one. I would use a minimum of 8, probably a 16. They say that you can use a class 4. Most people use a class 10, which is, if you run a camera, which means a faster read and write to them, a little faster bus line. I have found that I use mine quite a bit. I erase mine all the time. I was not aware of it until about 2-3 weeks ago when I was in a forum. It said that if you keep erasing these things back and forth, even the SanDisk Ultras, which several of these are, they're stupid. Similar to Microsoft's how they treat a hard drive. They throw stuff at random on them. Well, your SD drives keep rewriting the same blocks, which eventually wear them out. You have to get to an SD card called the Extremes or Extreme Pros. They're not your common $5 chips. An Extreme chip that I'm running here is a 16 gig Extreme. It is about $14. The Pros are about $25. You don't need a Pro. The Extreme will write back and forth and uses the whole length of it and cleans itself up. But if you're only going to use this for one application, the cheaper ones are fine. Okay. You want to go to raspberry.org and you want to download their file called NOOBS. It's actually 1.4.1 now, not 1.3. And you just literally download the zip file. Download it to your hard drive. Then you unzip it. This is how easy they're making this. Now, be in mind that most of you have probably installed a Windows more than once in your life. And it's probably taken you more than 5 minutes with the updates. The last install I just did with Windows 7 from a blank Windows 7 Pro SP1 with updates on an i7 at work from scratch with updates took me 6.5 hours. 222 updates. Okay? Not bad, is it? And that was before yesterday's Microsoft update Tuesdays. You just copy it over to your SD chip. Before you copy it to your SD chip, if you're using Windows, you need to download a few utilities. So the first utility is called SD Formatter. And it's just what it says. It formats SD chips. Even a fresh one out of the box, you want to format it. And you format it I do mine a complete full format, read and write zeros and ones to every block. You don't have to do that. I believe in a completely clean chip because I reuse mine. Once you format it, you just copy over the zip files to that SD chip. I've already downloaded it, and I'm going to keep referring to Microsoft a lot because I consider them the devil at times when it comes to installing software. They do not make it for noobs. The Linux world does. The easier the better for Linux. And there's so many different types of Linuxes. This is just a few that they offer on the NOOBS site. I think they're up to 9 now. And all you have to do is put it on your chip. Take it out of your Windows machine or your Mac. They make this for the Mac also. And you put it in your Pi. Let me show you the size of this little critter. Don't drop it. Don't let your wife do the dusting. I set a couple of these on top of our stereo system on top. I went to get them, they were gone. I said, "Do you see these?" No, but I dusted. Well, 2 hours later in the sweeper, I found them. That's all the bigger they are. If you have a phone, you're thoroughly aware of them. This is what a phone uses now. They're nice for phones. I consider them a pain in the butt for any other device. They're too small. Those are nice. This is the Pi 1 uses this, the Pi 2 uses this. They haven't quite figured out why they switched, but they did. Let me flip this over. These are the Pi 2s. The difference between a Pi 1 and a Pi 2 is the chip. They actually put a quad on these. Yes, you'd think of something for only $39 would not have a quad chip on it. It's the quad. They didn't raise the price of them 1 penny. It's running 7 times faster than the old chips. Let's turn one of these over here. We will try to boot it completely from scratch. I'm depending on my work's nasty line. I am running hardwire instead of the wireless, but that does not improve the speed of the T1 or the 2 T1s up here. Turn this Pi on. Hopefully it'll switch over. I've been playing with this earlier tonight. I might not catch it completely because the TV acts up when you switch on HDMIs. Let's see if it switches over to it. Yes, it's going to. Excuse me for a second. I didn't get. It'll say it's resizing it. A couple things you do have to have when you do this. First off and foremost, you have to have a hardwired connection because they didn't put a driver in for wireless when you start this. Plus, you also have to have a mouse connected to it. These are the operating systems that are offered for free, absolutely no cost whatsoever, and you don't have to just pick one of them. I could pick every one of these. As long as my chip was big enough, it would install all these operating systems on this chip. All of them are Linux based. Some of them are prompt when it comes up, just strictly for programming. Other ones have GUIs. 2 of them are the ones that I like the best. They are the multimedia versions that run multimedias. Video, pictures, movies. That was what I showed last year. All you do is pick what you want. We're just going to pick one right now. Raspbian. This does have a GUI. It'll tell you down here how much space you have and how much is available on your chip. Okay. I've already done this once because I was not sure of the connection down here. We will try to do it directly. All you have to do is hit install. And you basically go have yourself something to drink. With a good connection, it takes about 5 minutes. Okay? I couldn't tell you how long with the connection down here. That's why I've already done it. Once it is completed, it'll reboot itself. It'll reboot right into this operating system. If you have multiple systems that you pick, it'll come up to a boot menu. Pick whatever you want to start with, and it'll start for you automatically. We're not going to sit here and wait for this. We're going to just flip over to the other one. Let's just see here. Okay. All right. This is the Pi. Figure out which one of these little keyboards works. This one? Not that one. There we go. Got the right one finally. They're identical except they use a different wireless connection. I don't know why, but two separate dongles. Must be on a different one. This is actually the called Kodi. It's one of the operating systems that is offered on it. It's not the one I picked on the Raspbian. If the Raspbian's done by the time we show this, I'll try to boot it. But here again, I'm relying on our very slow connection. Here again, this is very similar to what you saw last year, just a different GUI. It does programs, systems. This is the actual basics of the system, showing you how fast it's running, storage it's on it, your network connection, and your hardware. This one's not being overclocked at all. It should be running at 900. I haven't changed the configs. This is one I did at home this afternoon, strictly through the NOOBS. You've got the operating system. This needs to have things called repositories downloaded before you. Just imagine going to the App Store. That's basically what a repository is. It's an app store for the Raspberries. You also notice you can see the CPUs at the bottom. It's only showing 3 CPUs. I haven't figured out why it doesn't go all the way across and show all four cores. But they're there. They are there. Put something in here. Okay. I don't know if this will pick it up or not. We'll see. It did. And I've got this for Joe. This is strictly for Joe's benefit. I've been telling him I'm going to get this movie for quite a while. The multimedia plays videos, basically. Anything you can get off the internet, it will play. This is just an MP4 that I ripped from this DVD. It plays a full 1080p. This is Office Space. Okay. And I'm not going to show much of it. I just want to show you that it worked. Okay.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And before I go any further, this is yours, Joe. Go home and enjoy it. And come next board meeting, I expect you to have a red stapler. You'll understand when you watch it.
Yeah.
And it's nothing personal, but the gentleman in it reminded me of your work situation. Not that you look like the gentleman.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Okay. Let me flip back and see if this thing's actually done on the other side or our connection's still going goofy. Button time.
I hadn't either. Keep telling me.
Would probably be till tomorrow on my connection to do this. Good thing I did it. This is all there is to this, people. I mean, on a fast connection, you can have 8 different OSs installed on this thing. 8 different ones, all free. All free. And updates, it might, when you plug it in, it does its updates. It might go out and pick updates for 5 minutes. That's it. There's no 200 of them to do, just before you can say, we're secure, or updated. And guess what Windows decided to do? They said, we want a piece of this pie. Literally. They've come out with Windows 10 for the pie. You might say, why? Well, I'm still saying why. I started 2 weeks ago to get a copy of it from Microsoft so I could show you. Up until last week, I thought it was going to be impossible. First off, they say it's free. They want you to download it. Went to the site. First thing they wanted me to do is sign up as a developer before I could even get in. Good thing I had an old Hotmail account, because you got to have a Windows Live account, which used to be Windows Hotmail. So I had to log in with that, go through about a 5-page sheet to give them my life history, log back in, and they wanted a credit card. Yeah, it's free. The last board meeting I told you all that. I wasn't going to give them one. Well, I still wanted to show you, so I give them one. They didn't use it. They didn't think. The only thing I can guess is they want all this information, so I didn't put the Windows 10 version I have on that disk over there for you. That it's got my stamp in it somewhere. That's the only thing I can figure. It took me 2 days just to figure out how to download the sucker. It is so difficult to download. You download a zip file, unzip it. You think, oh great, there's an ISO image. I'll just take my Nero or and just burn it over to it. Nope. Their ISO is special. It is only for their stuff to install it. You can't use a regular ISO burning program to do it. I said, oh good. So I pulled out Windows 7 and I followed the instructions. Nothing worked. Bad commands, bad commands. You have to do it through a PowerShell. You have to do it through Windows PowerShell. I'm copying and pasting the daggone instructions, and it's still telling me, don't know that command, don't know this command. So several hours later on the forums, I find out that my PowerShell or Windows 7 is not the same as Windows 10's PowerShell. So I had to download Windows 10 for a PC. I've got it on an old laptop over there. Windows 10 can only be talked to another Windows 10 in programming, particularly on the Raspberry Pi, with Windows 10. You look at the brighter side, they're going to give it to you free for the first year. And the story is they're going to start charging you monthly for it. Subscription fees. Whether that's true or not, they're not saying. I finally got it installed. I was really happy I did that. I was thrilled. I was going to get
You should press a key. If you had a keyboard.
It's not going to pick up the keyboard. The Windows 10 does not pick up anything. And it must not like the plasma too well either.
The keyboards they're using.
These are just, I picked these up. I've been playing with the Raspberry for so long. But this is nothing but a wireless keyboard. 2.4 gigs, 14 bucks.
Huh.
Got rechargeable battery in the back of it. You plug it right in.
Russian.
Chinese. They're better. They're better. China. If it isn't made in China, we don't buy it. I've been super amazed with them. They go off automatically after 8 seconds. I've had one for about 8 months. I've got about 4 of them now. I think I only charge them once every 2-3 months.
8 seconds?
8 seconds it'll go
I
off.
can't type that fast.
I mean, if you just sit here, it'll go back. It'll go off.
Yeah.
Touch any key. Okay, you're looking at it, people. This is all you get. I said, what? It's a lot clearer with a monitor, okay, or a good TV with the HDMI. It does run in 1080p. All it's giving you is IP addresses. You say, what? Where's my GUI? What can I do? They did this for a reason. The way the forums say, it's a blank slate, is how they put it. This is equivalent to me to it's the Linux version called Ubuntu, which is the server version. I tried it once. It's just strictly, you better know your commands because it's all just typing. There's no GUIs, no desktop. But it's even worse. You can plug a mouse in, it'll move a mouse, that's it. You have to. Here again, Microsoft is making you have Windows 10. You can only program this from another Windows 10 device, better known as a laptop. You also have to have Visual Studio 2015, which is only out for Windows 10, which isn't released yet. How much it's going to be, I couldn't tell you, Visual Studio. They let me download it for free right now. I think I got 90 days or something. I'm not a programmer. It was basically Greek to me. I could connect to it. They also have to use PowerShell off of Windows 10 PowerShell. A Windows 7 PowerShell doesn't have any of the commands that it recognizes. You have to literally connect to it. You have to mount it. I got all that through the PowerShell because I do know DOS. I started on DOS. I was copying and pasting the commands into the PowerShell because I was getting frustrated typing them and it was still telling me no. I finally got into it. The best thing I could do is I changed the password. I changed the administrator password on it. And that's all I can do. I've been trying for a week to find some people that have programmed apps for it to show you an app. Nobody's releasing any apps for it yet. Whether they're not doing it or what, I can't tell you. I don't have a clue. Hopefully that they will pick up on it. Maybe we'll see Windows be popular on the Raspberry. I'm not going to hold my breath because there's so much out there for free on the Linux side right now. I personally think Microsoft didn't get on this boat fast enough because it's been 2 years since these have been out. And there are so many apps that are totally free for the Raspberry. And the apps do look almost exactly like the ones on your phone. I've never paid for an app for the Raspberry yet. And a lot of the apps do exactly the same thing. You're paying $3, even $20. I mean, there's an Office for the Raspbian, and it's totally free. The Raspbian's is the closest thing I can tell you to Windows. Okay. I wish I could show you more on Windows 10. If anybody knows how to program, I do have my laptop sitting there. You're welcome to show somebody some stuff. If you know how to use PowerShell or a visual, I done it. Okay? And that's about it, really. Does anybody have any questions?
The cost of the newer...
It's exactly the same as the old. They didn't raise it a penny. $39 for the board. You can pick up a case for about $10. Power supply for about $5. It takes a 2.5 amp power supply, 5 volts. Then you need an HDMI cable and some piece of input, $14. By the time you're done, for totally free, you have about $70 in it. I personally overclock mine. They come with 900, the new ones. I'm clocking mine to a max right now of 1100. I've had a few incidents where it might just reboot. Supposedly, if you overclock it and turn the force turbo on, it's called, it voids your warranty. Let's see, now last time I checked, a warranty on $40 isn't much. You know, it sounds like Sears. I tell a story, I bought my father a garage door opener about 20 years ago from Sears. $149 on sale. They wanted $50 for insurance. I said, what do I get for $50? They said, we'll come out once a year and inspect it and grease it for you. I said, okay. That was the last time I ever bought an extended warranty. And I don't care if the thing blows up. Most people don't. $40, buy another one. Unfortunately, nobody in this area sells these, which I don't understand. I don't understand why Best Buy doesn't pick these up. I mean, the store in, what is it called, Fry's, the mail order store, it's in Columbus, they sell them for walk-in on sale for $30 sometimes. They won't ship them for that. They ship for $43 from Columbus. You can get a complete everything, including the fans. I've installed fans on mine for the heat, and I'm not. My old one was about 105 degrees. The new one's running at about 90, and that's being clocked to the max, overclocked to the max. Okay. Any other questions? If anybody's interested, I did make 4 discs. Help yourself. They have all the utilities you need, all the instructions you need on them of how to do this, just to play with one. You don't have to do anything more than that. Okay. I do want to show you one quick thing here. And if you do not want to, see if I can get back to my, there we go, I'm on the right one now. Okay. I do want to show you one other thing here. CODI, K-O-D-I, is the name of the multimedia Linux base that you just seen, which basically is a jailbroke Apple TV or a jailbroke phone. Everything's free. You can download it. The repositories are similar to app stores. Like the Apple Store, that'd only be one repository. There's like, I don't know how many repositories there are. I've got 8 of them downloaded on the one I have at home. And with the free apps that are on them, there's probably 3,000 to 4,000 apps I could put on it. And it's just going in and adding an app and it installs it. You can uninstall it just as fast. Some apps work, some apps don't work. You can get a YouTube app. Anything on the internet that's video oriented, you can get through this. We're absolutely free. Okay. But what they also did was really cool, is CODA decided that they were going to make their app to run under Windows. Their comment was, we'll fix Windows, we'll work under it. And it does run under Windows, it runs quite well. Looks similar? That's running on the i7. It is faster, and you can get just about anything you want. Okay. This app, the newest version is on the disk if you'd like to take a disk. You can try running this on your laptop if you like, and you won't even have to go get a Raspberry. Okay. Let me flip back over here. That's all, folks.
That's pretty.